What is up, guys? Pie Muffin here, and we are back with some more Trails Through Daybreak 2. So, this is officially our first video in the actual full game. The actual release of the game was yesterday, but I bought the limited edition, which didn't come until the day after. So, here we are, and obviously I wasn't gonna, re-buy the game digitally, just start playing one day early. So here we are. I actually do have a bit of a story. So when we were playing the demo, I did actually start this part. We're going to start with 1A. I think for the most part, we're just going to kind of go in order with each of these acts. But essentially what I did is I clicked on 1A, and it played the entire opening cutscene, and then it said, "Thank you for playing the demo." So it kind of baits you. So you can actually, obviously the game's already out, so it doesn't matter now. But if you were playing the demo, you actually could have just seen the opening scenes for both Act 1A and 1B. You know, just reload your file and it brings you here, you can watch it again. Similar to what they did with Daybreak 1, where you get to see the opening cutscene to Chapter 2, which was the Aaron stuff, and then it said, "Thank you for playing the demo." Now, I will say, unless they create one, there should not be, obviously once it gets localized, they haven't announced yet. I thought there was a chance they might announce the sequel to Daybreak 2, which is already out in Japan. I thought they would do a Western localization announcement like they did with Daybreak 1, how they announced it the day Daybreak 1 came out, but they didn't, so I'm guessing it's still probably a little far out. Plus, we don't know what the schedule is going to be for, well, we know what the schedule, but we don't know what the plans are for the mainline games with, you know, the worldwide release of Sky the First coming out this year. But yeah, so there is that. So yeah, so I saw the whole opening cutscene for 1A, so we're just going to be re-watching the same cutscene, but we are actually finally going to get started on the full game. Very excited to play this game again. This time fully localized, so there's gonna be a lot I didn't pay. I don't think I did a lot of the side quests on my original playthrough, so a lot of that stuff is definitely gonna be new to me, but obviously I know everything when it comes to the main plot of the game, so you're not gonna see me get too surprised at anything. But yeah, let's go ahead, let's get started on 1A. Kid running away with a briefcase. All right, so we are it's February 27th of 1209. If we started playing this a little later, it could have been the real date, considering it's the 5th of February, 15th of February for me right now. Messeldam. We obviously heard of Messeldam in the first game a lot. Van's already under fire. It's kind of clear from the get-go that she's acting just by how she was talking and dressed. Also that she doesn't recognize Judith. Very dead giveaway. This is a film thing. And Van is in the film for whatever reason. But yeah, so we obviously know about this town, Messeldam, because this is where the original film festival was supposed to happen before the Tharbad one. But they obviously changed it because of the terrorist threats.
2人が出会うハイライトシーンをよくぞ演じきってくれた。程よく濡れたエロスーツもカメラ映えしておるし、これぞエロスとバイオレンスの融合じゃ。
って監督、開口一番セクハラ発言はいい加減やめてもらえません？でもゴッチ監督の作品に参加できて光栄です。アクションシーンの迫力はさすがですね。
それをミシェル役で演じきれるあんたも大したものさ。
ドミニクさん、おばあちゃん
Judah's grandma, the first Grim Cats.
おー、ドミニクさん、わざわざ現場まですみませんな。
いいってことさ。私は現役の頃から現場主義だからね。孫娘の働きぶりも間近で見れるし、またとない好機だろうよ。
いや私も気合い入れないとね。
今をときめくトップ女優の2人に演技指導で往年の名歌手ドミニク・ランスターが参加。この映画とんでもないことになりそうだな。
ゴールデンブラッドと狼たちの鎮魂歌のクロスオーバー作品なんだっけ？それだけでも話題性は十分すぎるけど、それはそうとバンさん。
すげえ。あの特撮の合成がこんなにスムーズに進むだなんて。
They have Quattro working on special effects for the movie.
タイミング合わせも完璧じゃねえか。坊主、一体何者なんだ？
いえ、理科大学で研究に携わっているので端末の操作は慣れているだけですよ。映像編集は天体観測の画像データ解析と共通点も多いですし。
ほう、若いのに大した坊主だな。おい、ウィース。
なんでこんなことになったんだっけ？
Very good question.
ここがメッセルダムの港湾区か。思ったより栄えてるみたいだね。
You know what's kind of interesting here? And I obviously notice it because I played the Japanese releases of the game as well. But in the English version, they don't show the actor, the voice actor, actress's name when their name pops up on screen. Like where they just showed Quattro's full name, you know, introducing the character. In the Japanese release, right below that, it would say CV and then the actor's name. I wonder if they just do that because, you know, at least with the Western releases, you have, you know, half people playing in English, half people playing in Japanese. So they just don't put anything. Obviously, you'll see their name in the credits, though.
目的地まで約200アーチュと推測。
あの角を進んだあたりみたいだね。それじゃあ行こうか、フィオ、ゼロスも。
おっと、来たか。久しぶりだな、カトル。こうして会うのは2ヶ
Guess
月
I
ぶ
can
り
put it
か。
on auto until the voice acting stops.
通信では話してるけど、やっぱりちょっと感慨深いかな。バンさん、ジュディスさんも変わりないみたいでよかったよ。
そっちもね、カタルくん。でも理科大学の方は良かったの？
今期の必修単位は取ったからね。あとは合間にフィオやゼロスのバージョンアップなんかをしていた感じかな。
処理速度が 15% 向上。カトル、頑張った。
さすが、うちの技術担当は優秀だな。
っていうか、この子たちまた賢くなったわけ？
あといくつか新機能を少々。まあそのあたりはおいおいかな。ジュディスさんの方は映画の撮影中って聞いたけど。
ええ、年明けから本格的にロケ撮影が始まっちゃってね。ゴッチ監督とラム監督の共同制作にして、去年の大ヒット作同士のコラボ作品。
So when they say crossover between, you know, the blockbuster films, that doesn't mean like I assume anyway. I assume that doesn't literally mean a crossover in terms of like, oh, the characters in the movies are the same and they're just meeting. Like, I assume they just mean it's a crossover in terms of the production agencies. Like, oh, the two big, you know, like she says there, Gotti and Lamb, who we both met, obviously. They're like the big time directors of all these big movies. So obviously it's probably about them working together on this new film. And then of course we saw Judith and Nina in a movie together.
今はゴッチ監督の撮影パートなんだけど、みんな気合が入りまくっちゃってて。悪いけど、例の調査は撮影の合間ってことでお願いするわ。
こっちは構わねえし、手を貸してくれるのも助かるが、そこまでして無理に動かなくてもいいんじゃねえか？
首都の件、軽く聞いた限りだけでも到底放置はできないわ。
Another thing that's really nice about this game, this isn't really a spoiler, it's just something you'll notice as we go on. They are a lot, I mean, they'll still poke jokes here and there, but they are a lot kinder to Judith in this game than they were in the first game.
カトル君も来たことだし、詳しく話してく
And
れる
that's,
わよ
I
ね。
think that's just because of the backlash. I think there was a lot of backlash after the first game of how, you know, just kind of awful the main cast kind of treated her.
僕も確認しておきたいかも。
Even though she is supposed to be kind of like the joke character of the
手
party.
短にはなるが、改めて共有しておくか。
Okay, now we're going back to unvoiced. So that's how things went. It's almost too surreal to believe. A dark red beast that resembles the Grendel and Almada's legacy. This demands our attention, especially if the first gen is reacted. No kidding. I borrowed this one just in case, but to be honest, I don't know how much use it'll be. True, they tend to only glow in Agnes's presence. So that's another thing is, obviously, he's not going to be able to turn Grendel without Agnes nearby. At least we assume so. That strange phenomenon you mentioned is another point of concern. Wish I could explain it better, but it ain't easy to put into words. Doesn't sound like we have much to go off at this point. Is the capital safe at least? Yeah, I left Agnes and a few other folks I can trust to hold down the fort. If worse comes to worse, Elaine's there too, so they should be fine for now. Understood. Then I suppose the three of us should get to looking for Almada's legacy. Right, it's been too long since I've seen some real action. And I'm not about to turn a blind eye to anything involving Almada. Besides, even on a tight schedule, I've always found time for a side gig or two. That's right, a case like this is nothing for Judith Lannister. Let me at him. Did something happen to Judith since we last met, Van? Her Grammy put her through the ringer when she got home back in December. Sure, I made a lot of mistakes lately, but who hasn't? I'm doing my best here. That whole scandal with me and Maxim wasn't even my fault. And yet, even Mom won't stick up for me. If I don't start showing some improvement front stage and backstage, I'll never hear the end of it. I don't think I've ever seen Judith like this before. Her grandmother must be terrifying. Oh, look who it is. And we were just talking about him, too. Arc right here. How's it been, Director?
Oh, Vanko! つながってよかったわい。ジュディス君から君がメッセルダムに来ていると聞いたんじゃが。
Sure am. Let me guess, you in some kind of trouble?
実は俳優の一人の到着が遅れておってな。このままでは撮影が大幅に押しそうなんじゃ。
So this is how Van ended up on the set.
今日からニナ君もクランクインだという時に。 臨時の代役を立てようにも少々体を張る役でな。なかなか任せられるものが。
Are you asking what I think you're asking?
そういうわけでバン君、突然で悪いんじゃが一つ頼まれてくれんか？
For real? So that's I mean, obviously you see Van holding a gun in that scene, so it obviously wasn't him, because when have we ever seen Van use a gun? Despite Van's initial reluctance at director's request, Gotti's relentless passion eventually convinced him to accept. With Quattro's help, the filming went off without a hitch. The playback looks good. Let's take 5, everybody. I believe after this cutscene is where the Act 1A, Port Capriccio. I think this is where the demo ended. You get to see all of this, and then it's like, oh, thanks for playing. You sure saved my ass, Van. I had no idea you were such a talented stuntman. We'll have to shoot some pickups when Ethan gets here, but the whole day would have been a bust without you. That fight scene you choreographed for us was the cherry on top. Heck, I ought to get you and Quattro on staff. Nah, it was no big deal. But out of curiosity, do full-timers get access to the unedited cuts of the adult scenes? Oh, Lord. Okay, that's enough out of both of you. Oh, brother, this job does seem fun, though. By the way, what's Grammy up to? Oh, she's helping Nina run lines for the next scene. I'll tell you this much, bringing her on board really lit a fire under our asses. Dominic Lanster, the biggest chancelier of her generation. Even after retiring, she still has a finger in every corner of the business. So a chanson singer is like, that's like theater, I believe. I don't know a ton about it, but I believe that's what it is. Or at least something along those lines. Apparently she'll only take jobs when the mood strikes her, but any production she touches becomes a massive hit, so she's really good. That's an impressive resume. She sounds like a woman of many talents. Grammy coaches everything from stage and screen actors to professional athletes. Interesting. She even has experience playing large-scale events. It's all done behind the scenes too, so the industry sees her as a legend, a real genius in her field. Who'd have thought we'd end up working with her here in Messeldam? Haha, I take it you didn't hear about it until the last minute either, eh, Judith? Well, the good news is we've now got a cinematic masterpiece for the ages on our hands. Keep an eye out for the premiere. I gotta run, but I'll see to it you get paid in a few days for all your help. No rest for the director, is there? I hope you're able to lighten the load if nothing else. Yeah, with someone as big as him, I'm sure the pay is going to be pretty solid. For sure. In fact, you bought me some time, too. With today's shoot out of the way, I should be free until evening. Alright, then. I think we've hung around here long enough. You two ready to roll? First things first. We need to track down Almada's legacy. Of course, that's easier said than done. We should be able to sniff out some clues in town, though. Let's make the rounds and see what turns up. I'd like to poke around Almada's old stomping grounds in particular. Right, as far as Messeldam goes, that place tops the list. Oh, and I've spread the word about 4 SPGs like you asked, so we might have a few of those to do. Good looking out. While we're at it, might as well stop by the White Whale Inn. There's something in my room I want to show you guys. You must mean that new software from Marduk. Yeah, so the Martian Garden. Very well, we can drop in at some point while we work through our requests. So that's basically where the demo ended, right there. Alright, tactics, field battle, command battle, all that good stuff.
さーて、一応変装もしたし、張り切っていくわよ。
つっても髪型とサングラスだけだが、首都でもそのスタイルだったか。
案外バレないんだよね。
スケジューラーを起動したわ。
Right, so obviously you are able to, I think it was kind of similar in Reverie where you can look at all your characters here and then your current party is going to be up here. And obviously you can switch stuff out as you want here. Oh, let's go over here. There's a blue exclamation point. Are you still not satisfied with the scene, Mr. Gotti? I can tweak my performance however you like. No, you played your part to a T, Nina. It just feels like we need a little je ne sais quoi to tie things together before cutting to the climax. No shame in asking for advice if you need it. The whole point of this blockbuster crossover is to raise support for the survivors of Krail Village, right? I did forget that that's what he wants to do. Knowing that, I'd like to help in any way I can. Looks like Grammy and them are ironing stuff out. Let's not butt in. They've got enough on their plates.
映画の撮影って思ったより大人数でやるものなんだね。
ええ、脚光を浴びる役者や監督だけじゃない。大勢の人に支えられてるのよ。
I definitely want to check the shops while we're running
ご注文
around.
は何でしょうか？
Ooh, yes, please.
ありがとうございま
I'm
した。
not going to worry about... I am going to try and platinum this game as well, but I'm not going to do it during this playthrough. I'll save that for when I'm playing on my own. I do want to try and get as much of the important stuff as I can, though. Okay. Yeah, sure, rubber grip.
またいつでもおいで。
Get a nice look at Messeldam while we're running around. Very nice town. Oh, you got public
こ
bath
この
over
浴
here.
場ちゃんとサウナが完備されてるから安心しろ。
当然のようにチェック済みなんだ。
Alright, may as well use it.
寒い日は
いい感じだ。
ちょっと暑すぎない？
体温上昇。汗がすごいな。これはシャキッとするね。
Alright,
また温まりに来な。
takes care of that. Alright, we got shops.
何でも言ってくれよ。またよろしくな。
Well, we're gonna see that guy around a lot. More old songs you can hear on the radio. Yep, new weapon for Van. Do they all get one? Okay, they do. Alright.
またお越しください。
Now let's head to the hotel so we can... So it's... The way it's gonna work is kind of similar to the way it worked in Reverie, where... Oh, there's a cinema over there as well. I believe you can watch movies while you're over here. It does work... Yeah, we're gonna do this first. Where as you're playing the game, the more characters you bring in there will just increase the amount you have available to you. We'll talk to Officer Nate there in a minute. Oh, I was not reading that. Since we're setting up base here for 2 or 3 days, we can access the Martian Garden from this terminal, right? Is that the dedicated MK terminal you equipped your truck with? You know, I've heard that Martian Garden thing is pretty incredible. Honestly, I'd like to take a look myself. Yeah, so you can access it. So this is how they kind of lengthen how long these, you know, half acts are going to be, is because you also have to do this. All right, time to start exploring the Martian Garden. I should be able to gain access for extra members by having Mare make new profiles for their Ziffas. You mind, Mare Bear?
はいはい、聞いてたわよ。まったくもうフォロー使いが荒いんだから。まあ、あの仮想空間が気になるのは私も同じだし。 今回だけの特別大サービスだからね。
And so the rest of the group was registered. Van then reached out to the other team and had them log in for an in-person rundown of the system.
お久しぶりです。カトル君、ジュディスさん。
アニエスさん。本当に久しぶりだね。まさか仮想空間で再会するとは思わなかったけど。
はい、本当に。ちょっと不思議な感じがしますね。学芸祭に向けて忙しいって聞いたけど、元気でやってるみたいじゃない。それはそうと、君たちがスウィン君とナーディアちゃんね。
ああ、はじめましてだ。いきなりで戸惑うだろうが、よろしく頼む。こっちも裏解決屋のメンバーについてはあらかた聞いててな。
バーゼル理科大学で飛び級してる天才くんに、まさかの大物女優ジュディス・ランスターさん。カトルくん、カーくんかなは可愛い系だし、ジュディスさんはやっぱりすごいオーラだね。スーちゃんはなびかないと信じてるけど、これを機に
Oh yeah, I
新
saw.
たな魅力を取り込むしか。
I saw this line and like most fans are just laughing at it, but you do have some people who are like, "Oh my god, they're putting modern slang in these games, ruining it." It's like, okay, it's really not a big deal.
何の話だ。脱線するなっての。
You two really are regular comedians. I'm not quite sold on the whole QT thing, but you both seem to be nice people. That's a relief considering our track record with other members of the Gardens. Definitely, I've seen firsthand just how reliable they can be. Okay, that's enough meeting and greeting for now. The situation is pretty much how I explained it to you earlier. We'll need all the help we can get in here, yours included, Elaine. It'd be my pleasure. Rene is lending his aid, so I see no reason to withhold mine. I can't just sit on my hands, especially if there's any chance of this being related to the incident at the Capitol. Besides, I've got to stay in shape, both as Grimcat and as an actress. There'll be a lot on my plate, but that won't stop me. I'm impressed they managed to build a virtual space of this scale. It's almost like an expansion of the battle simulator we used before. Personally, I find this sort of thing fascinating, so feel free to call on me anytime. Potter and Judith can now be added to your party within the Martian Garden. Hey guys, jumping right into the Martian Garden, huh? Well, you did put in a formal request. Sounds like you were waiting for us, though. Was there something else you needed to share? Yeah, actually. See, we finished analyzing those shard tokens you guys found on your last expedition. Turns out they had a function that can parse and restore some of the data losses the Garden's going through right now. Slow down a sec, I'm not really following here. Let me dumb it down a little. The tokens you collect, the more we can analyze the resources the Garden took in. Plus, it'll net you a whole bunch of rewards that can be used in both the virtual and real worlds. So no reason not to try it out, right? I mean, I already added the feature to Mare for you. Boy, you work fast, but yeah, I get the gist of it now. May as well give it a whirl, I suppose. Mystic Cube Analysis. So it's kind of similar to, obviously, the cubes we could get in, like I said, Reverie. And you would get reward, or the orbs from Reverie, and you would get rewards from it. And you can use, if you're going for specific things, you can use items. So you do this, and then you just hold down X. And the more you do in succession, the more rewards you're gonna get. So it's obviously better to save up as many S tokens as you can. I can probably do one more if I'm lucky. We got Kincaid's Towel. So close. Okay. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, now you can look at everything. So we got brown hair for Judith. We got towel outfit for Rune. And then you also get these skill stones, which I'm sure we're going to be able to go over here in a second. Looks like the analysis went off without a hitch. Oh, I almost forgot. There's some good news for you guys. You found out you can use your shard tokens and your Ziffas to beef up your individual crafts. We developed a program for augmenting them. You're free to use it anytime you like. Seriously? Wow. What do they think of next? What are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to get out of all of that again? In short, they discovered a means of improving our individual proficiency levels through combat orbment synchronization. I don't know if that really explained it easier for Judith, but it might be worth taking a moment to verify how effective the process is. Enhancing crafts. Yeah, so you go here. Each character has their own crystals you can get, and then you can use them here to make your individual craft stronger. Obviously, Van's got a second S craft here we've yet to unlock. Any character that actually has a second one, it'll show here. I don't think anyone here... Yeah, none of these characters get a second S craft in this game. But yeah, so like Raging Buster, for example. Boom. You can put it 2. And see, like, each thing increases. So the first 5 will give you 20% more accuracy. Then it'll raise your HP by 1,000. And then you get crit plus 10%. So let's do that. Yeah, and you can pay to reset it. And then you can also do something like this, where it just randomly will place them. I'd rather just upgrade one at once, so let's just do Innocent Heal. Oh, but yeah, so you don't get to the next thing until, like, certain levels, for example. So it's not even super necessary to do everything at once. And see, it does increase the amount of power everything does. I keep forgetting to double click. There you have it. Okay, there's not another floor yet. But you do get clear bonuses for doing it multiple times, so some people might find that useful. But for now, that's all we need to do with this. Whoopsie, almost forgot one TC detail. I also made it so you can find shard tokens and portals via shard search, so give that a try too, okay? Portals? This is the first time hearing of those. And I thought shard tokens were something we collected in virtual reality. Yeah, about that. We don't know if it's a bug with the garden or whatever, but they've been showing up as data fragments in the real world too. They can be used in the garden just fine, so it'd be super cool if you could gather them out there too. This is kind of a concerning development. Tell me about it. Like, real talk, we don't entirely know what's going on here either. As for the portals, there's these things called nodes around Edith where the orbital waves are mega concentrated. Our tech lets you reconfigure those hotspots into virtual routers made out of shards. Once you have one up and running, it can be used to get easy access to the Martian Garden. No dedicated terminal required. Seeing is believing though, so I just sent you some info on a portable compatible location nearby. Just turn on your shard search and have a look around. Honestly, I'm still a little lost, but sure. We'll try it out when we get the chance. Yep, so it's like that. You just run around, you can find it. Like this. Alright, so I think we're going to end the first video off here. So next time, since there's not another floor to investigate yet in the garden, we are just going to go ahead and get started with our investigation of Messeldam next time. So that's gonna be it, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'll see you all next time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.